you can still buy a house in the US for under $10,000. No, it's not a dollhouse, and it's not a Craigslist scam or haunted property. It's real, and it's happening right now. Yet you're probably not supposed to know about it. While most Americans are stuck with six-figure mortgages, some small towns are offering homes so cheap it almost feels illegal. But there's always a catch. Sometimes it's an old coal town with faster internet than LA. Other times, it's a lakeside retreat where you'll need bear spray and a backup generator. We're exploring 10 towns where homes are ridiculously affordable, but each comes with a twist. One town even has a ghost tour run by the mayor, while another's median home price is lower than a used Honda Civic. By the end of this video, you'll either be booking a one-way ticket or wondering why it's so cheap. Like, subscribe, and prepare to be amazed. In Eagle Pass, Texas, you can buy a house for under $90,000 and literally watch Mexico from your porch. This border town feels like a Texas fever dream. Ranch-style houses, scorching 100-degree heat, and HB grocery stores with more salsa varieties than you could ever imagine. Life moves slowly, neighbors wave, and the culture is a rich blend of Texan pride and Mexican heritage. The median home price is just around $89,000, with rent for a two-bedroom ranging from $650 to $750, though be prepared for the occasional mariachi concert next door. Cost of living is 23% below the national average, and with a population of about 30,000, you'll find a Walmart supercenter and 3 Whataburger locations. But don't be fooled by the low cost of living. Eagle Pass sits right on the US-Mexico border, a place often featured in cable news panic montages. However, the crime rate is surprisingly low, actually safer than Austin, and much safer than cities like St. Louis or Baltimore. A local summed it up: "Everyone thinks we're in danger, but the only real threat is forgetting your sunscreen." It's hot, affordable, and culturally rich, but expect to explain to relatives that Eagle Pass isn't the setting for a post-apocalyptic Netflix series. You can rent a full 3-bedroom house in Harlingen, Texas for less than a studio apartment in Tulsa. Yeah, Tulsa. Let that sink in. Harlingen, with a population of just over 71,000, sits in the Rio Grande Valley, practically next door to Mexico. It's all palm trees, endless sun, and real estate prices that would make LA agents cry. The median home price is about $136,000, less than most down payments elsewhere. Plus, no state income tax, low property taxes, and tacos on every corner. So why isn't everyone moving here? Well, cheap comes with a catch. Crime is 35% higher than the national average, with theft and car break-ins at the top. The job market isn't booming, and unemployment rates hover above the national average. As one Reddit user put it, living in Harlingen feels like time traveling to 1998, but with the blockbusters still closed. Housing is affordable, but salaries often match the price. The summer heat is brutal, making your air conditioner a household member. Sure, you'll save money, but you might also spend your evenings triple-checking car locks. Traffic laws here are more like suggestions. Like the time I saw someone make a U-turn into a Taco Bell drive-thru in reverse. Welcome to Harlingen. Decatur, Illinois is the kind of town where you can buy a 3-bedroom house for under $90,000 and still have enough left over for a year's supply of frozen pizza. This town, home to 68,000 people, sits in a sea of cornfields with an odd obsession for soybeans. It's actually called the soybean capital of the world. With a median home price around $93,000 and rent below $800, it sounds like a dream, right? Well, not so fast. Dreams in Decatur come with an industrial scent and a crime rate 54% higher than the national average. While the job market is strong in manufacturing and agriculture, it's not exactly a tech hub, and as one Redditor put it, it's affordable. Just don't open your windows when ADM's cooking. Living here means low mortgage payments, but questionable air quality. The social scene? If you're under 40, you might find yourself spending Friday night with retirees at the VFW. Drivers treat stop signs like suggestions. I've seen someone roll through a four-way with coffee in one hand and a chicken biscuit in the other. And the weather, either too humid or so windy you're chasing your garbage can across state lines. Would you live in Decatur, where the house smells like soy sauce 3 times a week? Enid, Oklahoma is one of the few places in America where houses are dirt cheap, and so is the dirt. With a population just over 51,000, Enid is known for wheat, oil, and that small-town charm where people wave at you for just showing up. The median home price is about $128,000, and the cost of living is 17% below the national average. Rent for a 2-bedroom hovers around $750 a month. It's affordable, peaceful, and calm, but there's a catch. The job market mainly revolves around aviation or government, leaving limited options for anyone not flying planes or fixing pipelines. The unemployment rate hovers above 4.5%, and unless you're passionate about grain elevators, excitement is scarce. Crime is low, and commute times are a breezy 15 minutes. But life here runs on wind and weirdness. The weather? Either where's my hoodie, or am I being punished? Picture stepping outside, breathing crisp air, and hearing a distant rooster, only to get slapped by the Oklahoma wind. Could you survive in a town where Starbucks is 40 minutes away? In Mission, Texas, you can buy a house for under $100K and still have money for a lifetime supply of bug spray. Welcome to the tropics of Texas, where it's hot, cheap, and eerily quiet after 10 p.m. Nestled in the Rio Grande Valley, Mission blends Tex-Mex culture, palm trees, and sunsets that could make a Netflix B-roll. With a median home price around $98,000 and a cost of living 24% below the U.S. average, it's a budget-friendly paradise. Rent for a 2-bedroom with AC is under $750, something you'll definitely need in this heat. The population of 85,000 is steadily growing thanks to retirees and remote workers who love sunshine and spicy food. But here's the catch. It's hot. Like carry an extra shirt with nearly 200 days of sunshine and triple-digit summers. The job market mainly revolves around agriculture, healthcare, and seasonal retail. And while crime is below the national average, border town perceptions can skew reality. The local drivers, with their casual cruises and fast, furious moves, add to the charm. Could you handle the heat and the affordable living? Springfield, Illinois is where you can buy a house for under $110,000. Visit Abraham Lincoln's tomb and still get mugged near a Taco Bell at 3 p.m. It's the state capital, filled with historic sites, state politics, and enough corn-based events to last a decade. You'd expect big city energy, but Springfield feels more like your uncle's backyard barbecue, stretched across 60 square miles. The median home price is around $108,000, with rent under $850, making it affordable. The job market is focused on government, education, and healthcare, so it's slow-paced and steady. But here's the catch. Springfield has big city crime in a small town setting. The violent crime rate is nearly double the national average, and property crime is a concern. It ranks as one of the most dangerous cities in Illinois. Locals joke it's Lincoln laws and lock your doors. Living here means charm, history, and affordability, but also potholes, fireworks, and crime. The weather can be wild, fluctuating from winter to 85 degrees in an afternoon. Could you live in a town where Lincoln is king and your neighbor owns 3 pet raccoons? Let me know. In Warren, Michigan, you can buy a home for less than a year of rent in Brooklyn. Just don't ask about the last 3 houses on the block. Warren, Michigan's third-largest city, is a blue-collar suburb north of Detroit, known for auto plants, strip malls, and sidewalks that end abruptly. The median home price is around $99,000, with rent for a 2-bedroom averaging $850 to $950. The cost of living is 20% below the national average. Warren's home to the General Motors Tech Center and plenty of now hiring signs, making it a hub for factory and trade work. But here's the catch. Warren is a mix of suburbia and post-industrial purgatory. Violent crime is 47% higher than the national average, and property crimes are frequent. Stolen bikes, broken windows, and missing packages. Winters are harsh. Potholes are a menace, and the Target parking lot always smells like antifreeze. Still, you'll find neighbors who will jumpstart your car in under 30 seconds. Could you handle the affordable housing, deep snow, and raccoon infestations? Let me know in the comments. In Bay City, Michigan, you can buy a house for under $95,000, and depending on the wind, it might smell like Cheerios or wet carpet. Welcome to the Midwest. Bay City is the underrated cousin of the Great Lakes family. Not as slashy as Traverse City, not as troubled as Flint. It's a laid-back town with boats, breweries, and an oddly high number of antique shops. Located on Lake Huron's Saginaw Bay, you get river walks, charming bridges, and summer festivals with vintage campers selling kettle corn. The cost of living is nearly 24% below the national average, and the median home price is about $93,000. Rent for a 2-bedroom is around $700 to $800 a month. But Bay City has its quirks. The job market is modest, mostly in manufacturing, schools, and healthcare, and remote work hasn't really caught on. Crime is higher than expected, with a crime index of just 17 out of 100. Weather is unpredictable, with snow in April and thunderstorms in January. Potholes are massive, and driving feels like a Mario Kart track. Bay City has 2 seasons, construction and hope. Could you live in a lakeside town with a quirky vibe and affordable homes? Let me know. In Weirton, West Virginia, the average home costs less than a new Toyota Camry and comes with more steel history than your uncle's conspiracy blog. Weirton used to be a steel powerhouse where high school football was practically religion. Located on the Ohio River, it's technically part of the Pittsburgh Metro, but locals will fight you if you say that. The town still has a nostalgic blue-collar charm, with local diners, porch culture, and streets frozen in a sepia-toned postcard from 1963. The median home price is about $112,000, making it seem like a steal. But then the steal dried up, and the economy took a hit in the 80s. The population has been slowly declining, and 18% of residents are over 65, which is great if you love bingo, but not so much if you're looking for a startup scene. Crime is low, but wages are too, with a median household income of $45,000. The town is quiet, safe, and nostalgic, but your biggest thrill on a Friday night might be a Sheetz run and half-off mozzarella sticks. It's affordable, but social energy might require some extra effort. Flint, Michigan is one of the few places in America where homes are cheaper than your college textbooks. You've definitely heard of it, but probably not from a tourism brochure. Flint's infamous. Mention the name and people think of the water crisis. And yes, that's fair. But what if I told you the city is quietly rebuilding and housing is so affordable it feels fake? The median home price is $69,000, with a cost of living 27% below the national average and rent around $700 a month. The job market is mainly in healthcare, education, and city contracts, so don't expect Silicon Valley vibes. Now about crime, brace yourself. Violent crime is 4 times the national average, and property crime is through the roof. Still, some parts of Flint are becoming oddly cool. Artists, developers, and hipsters are moving into renovated buildings downtown. There's even a Flint mural tour and a surprisingly good coffee scene. So you can grab a house for less than a Tesla down payment, but you'll be dealing with a city in recovery, potholes, and trust issues. Would you live in Flint for the cheap housing and comeback story? Let me know. Thanks for watching. We've just covered 10 US towns where home prices are so low you might think it's a scam. From hidden gems like Flint and Bay City to quirky spots like Weirton and Mission, these towns offer affordability you won't find in most places. Sure, there are some trade-offs, whether it's crime rates, weather, or quirky local culture. But if you're willing to embrace the unexpected, these towns might just be your next great adventure. Drop a comment with your thoughts. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more unique insights into the world's best-kept secrets. See you next time.